So you guys have now got your Ninja vs. Unicorn, you've got your Something Hoppy This Way Comes, and your kind of Ninja series in general. Still just kind of absolutely shot out of a cannon. And the thing that's kind of cool are these series of beers that you guys have, which you say is one of your greatest hits. And I think, to me, kind of your greatest hits are these series. Either the Ninja, the Epic Battle series, or the Ninja Hop series, or the other one is the Abduction series, which is your Stout series here. So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about these huge successes that you guys got right out of starting. I mean, from a few months, let's say 6 months, from being, oh my God, this Kickstarter has to work, to holy shit, we're on the top of Beer Advocate's like new beers charts. What was that like? I mean, feel free to like gloat or say it scared me shitless, or like what were.
But it's really neither, because I don't think we ever had a moment to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the day we win the New Brewers Award for great beer, and it beat out 1,900 other breweries, and well, that was the day that our building caught on fire.
Yeah, literally.
Great.
All the electric went out. Like it was horrible.
Or it's like the day we get put in press on some magazine or in the Tribune or something is the same day that the glycol line popped off a fermenter, and it ended up going to 100 degrees. And so I don't think there's ever really, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like as we were like getting all these accolades and like doing all these beers, I mean, you're always like, I mean, we didn't have time to think about what we had done right. We were thinking about like how to fix what was coming up, or like how to make the next greatest thing. I mean, that's kind of the bane of our brewery's existence, is like you don't have time to reflect on the beer that you're making because you're not making it again. It's like that shit's over. It's in a bottle and it's in a consumer's hand.
And I think that's kind of the beautiful irony about it, really.
Right.
So, I mean, we really have our fingers crossed for 2014. So
yeah, I mean, like the problem is like you're always thinking about like how to develop the next recipe, how to make the next greatest thing. Like you're always kind of like on your own coattails, because you're like, oh, well, I made this one great thing. Like the next one has to be great too. I can't just like come out with an all-star like Ninja vs. Unicorn and then be done. It can't be over there. It's like you have to keep rolling with those punches, and it's not like you're just making the same beer all the time.
Asking me about a key or something? About who walked? It's like that. Oh, talking to that.
So tell me about your greatest influences.
We need questions. Audience.
No, so here, I'm back. The bathroom is no longer locked with the key inside.
I didn't do that. The key was not on the door. It was unlocked when I went in.
Sure you didn't.
Breaking stuff during the interview.
We'll edit that out. None of this ever happened.
Just real quick, before we move on to the Abduction, it was real cool that we just got to taste the Something Hoppy next to the Sriracha Ace.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to pair something like that, like where's the influence, and then this is directly next to it was the one. And I don't think BJ and I have had the Brooklyn Ace since 2010 when it came out.
It's been so long.
So it was really kind of neat to see them side by side. And what's different about our beer is obviously it's not a Saison yeast. It's just American ale yeast.
Yeah, it's amazing how sweet ours tastes.
Slightly sweeter. It's still.
It's a really dry beer though. It's funny. Tasting that Sriracha Ace, that shit is bone dry.
Just a little more color. No caramel malts or anything like that. Just a little more color though. And then ours is also a little bit pineier because we do extract some bitterness from our Sriracha Ace hops, and we use Simcoe and another a little bit of Simcoe, and we use. What else we use? Something else.
Columbus, I think usually.
Yeah. So we definitely get a little more piney backbone on ours.
Yeah, that's another thing.
It's still the lemon and the pininess.
All of our like Ninja series, like, well, people read into it a little bit that it's like it's just the Centennial Ninja. All those beers
I explained
are.
that way in the back.
Oh.
You were taking a dump while he was talking about that. I'm locking the key in. Yeah.
I'm here too.
So yeah, I definitely thought that both of them, the hop definitely plays a role. And you see the similarity in both those beers. To me, it's that kind of lemongrass, maybe a hint of like that peppery note. I like that oak that you said. I never thought about that with Sriracha Ace, but you're completely right.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's funny, like once it came into my head that was the flavor profile, like it like slaps me in the face now. I'm
Yeah.
like, it tastes like a barrel, and I get mad when I read the ratings. I'm like, why doesn't anyone taste the vanilla and oak character of the Sriracha hops? I literally like, I mean, I'm sure Garrett still does too. Like we check the ratings every night. every night, dude. Like I have a button that brings up Untapped, Rate Beer, and Beer Advocate, like with the most recent ratings of Pipeworks.
I'm starting to get a little more fickle with the ratings in the sense it's oh, you didn't hate it? Okay, well then that'll make me happy. Before it's like, what do you mean you didn't absolutely love it? Now it's just like, as long as you don't hate it, I'm good with it.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at before with what are some of the either benefits or challenges of this early success. And I think, BJ, you mentioned it before with we've got to do the next great thing, and we've got to, keep up with what people have already seen that we can do.
It's a high bar,
And yeah, and you like, our ratings must be this high too. So it's probably, I would think, a lot of pressure, a lot more pressure than somebody who's just trying to like, all right, we've got our 3 core beers. They're solid. We're gonna get some tap handles.
It keeps us really honest, though. Like, I mean, like, one thing I'll say, like, a lot of brewers hate Rate Beer and Beer Advocate because they're like, they're putting scores on our things, and they don't
our greatest
understand.
tools, though.
Right. I mean, it's like instantaneous feedback from our consumers. Because one thing we've been awesome at, I think, is that like, the recipes aren't always the same, even if we produce the same beer twice. Like, I mean, we take that feedback really seriously. If someone, like, if 90% of people said that there should be more body in Jones Dog, you better believe there's more body in the next batch. And we'll keep moving those beers in the direction that, the populace wants them. Because, I mean, people are right. Like, we're not making beer for us. We're making beer for you guys. So, it's not like, there are some exceptions where I'm like, fuck that beer is perfect, and you guys have But generally speaking, you guys know what the hell you're talking about.
What beer is like that?
Ninja vs. Unicorn, he hasn't budged it in.
I mean, I think Something Hoppy This Way Comes is a great example because it's probably one of our lower rated double IPAs out of the bunch.
We didn't have Simcoe to start, but Simcoe was always intended to be in the beer.
Sure.
And then when we added the Simcoe, we're like, oh, that's exactly what
But I mean, like, people are like, and it's fine. Like, some people don't like Sriracha Ace hops. Like, some people don't like Chai Dog. It's Chai Spice.
Right.
It's like, well,
one of our greatest ratings was, someone just gave us the lowest score possible for Chai Dog, and they were just like, I really hate chai tea. But this beer's pretty good, but I still give it 0.1 because I hate chai tea. Why did you buy the beer then? And
Right.
why
I mean, it clearly describes it as a chai beer. It has a big cup of like chai tea on the thing. It's like,
So if you hate chai tea and you hate this beer, then we must have done a good job on making it.
killed it.
I like the way you think about that. So moving on to the beer that we have in front of us, I think other than the Ninja series, the Abduction series of beers is, I think, something you guys are known for. I have this under my greatest hits because I think along with the Ninjas, the Abductions are ones that people go absolutely bananas, bonkers over. So first of all, tell me about the Abduction series and then maybe about this beer.
Being in Belgium with the BJ coming up with the blend of the Helver Numinous and the Black Albert. Black Albert's one of my favorite beers. I think I drank maybe $500 or $600 with an Urban's stash of that at a 2-day beer fest. So we have to have our Imperial Stout, and this is a recipe that BJ worked on for a long time. And then obviously me being a huge fan of Black Albert, we went over it together. And
it is heavily.
It's one of the first beers. It's one of the first beers we started talking about. Not one of the first beers we made, but one of the first beers we started planning.
This beer actually, I mean, I'd say this beer was a long time in the making. Like, I mean, like the homebrew recipe, like
the original Abduction.
Yeah, I mean, we hemmed and hawed about how this beer would be made because I mean, we were really aiming to make Black Albert.
Right.
What ended up happening wasn't Black Albert.
Well, also I think things like Last Kiss is not your. I'm sorry. The Wee Heavy from AleSmith is not your typical Wee Heavy,
right?
But it's the typical Wee Heavy that we know, and Black Albert's not your typical Imperial Stout.
It's not an American. It's not darkness.
It's more, yeah. It's got some Belgian character to it, and we were both in agreement. We're like, oh yeah, that's the kind of Imperial Stout we want to make.
And did you always intend to add like orange or raspberry or cherry or coffee to these?
I don't think so. No, I mean this is also at the time, 2009, that people weren't really doing a lot of those kind of additions and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it was like, the only really fruited stout I knew at the time was probably Bell's Cherry Stout.
Right, exactly. And that's like an 8%, kind of double stout. And, So, no, but I mean, I guess we knew that we just want to make a really good imperial stout, and then we knew once we did that, we can do other things with it. Let's put it that way. We want to make which we do with all our beers. We want to make a really good base, and then once we have the good base, you can start to do things with it.
We'll talk about orange truffle.
This is the third or fourth one in the line, and this one's actually paired with the raspberry truffle because the ideas behind this and the raspberry truffle one were the, I think it's around Christmas time, you get those
Oh yeah, the lint ball, the
Yes.
Lind.
I love
orange
smash
chocolate,
balls.
and then the orange,
love
the
those.
orange and the raspberry chocolate.
You love those, don't
The
you?
slices.
I work for Vosges Chocolate.
Oh, okay. I love those.
So
I do too.
these two beers are kind of based off of that. So it's chocolate, no vanilla in this, right? Vanilla.
No, yeah, there's vanilla. I think in the first batch we forgot to put
Yeah, yeah,
vanilla.
So a little bit of vanilla.
Scott was sleeping on the job
Yeah,
that day.
a little bit of vanilla, and then we used for the raspberry. We get fresh raspberries and
From Seedling Farms.
seedling farms. Put about 200 pounds in per batch, so it's about like 50 pounds a barrel or so.
Yeah, it's
40
a lot.
40 pounds
It's a
a barrel.
lot of
so.
raspberries.
And then for the oranges, it's a citrus fruit, so it's a little different. So we have to add a lot of fresh squeezed orange juice, orange zest at the end of the boil, and then we add just a little bit the secondary as well. So.
Another fun thing about the orange truffle, or about the abduction series, that I don't know if people realize, but every abduction beer has somebody from your brewery
Right.
featured on the label.
So BJ kind of does like a collage for the abduction
They've been
series.
hand drawn for a while now. Like, yeah, this one's totally hand drawn.
That one's completely hand drawn. Yeah.
And that's Bobby. That's one of the guys.
That's Bobby. That's our delivery manager.
Delivery manager. Delivery manager. This is being videotaped. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's the dude that kicks ass with the beer out in the world.
And the first one was you being abducted by aliens, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one was Scott.
Scott, the coffee break abduction.
Scott loves coffee, so he was an inspiration for Hyperdog and
for
as
sure.
well for.
And then Garrett was raspberry truffle. And then Drew, who has pretty much left Pipeworks at this point,
He'll
right?
be gone in a few weeks because he's
opening 18th Street Brewing
hopefully
in
brewing
Indiana.
The first batch is there next
Yeah.
week. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Garrett's actually been there every day, helping finish build out. Quick sidebar story. Drew came to us as a volunteer. He had been working on opening this brewery in Indiana, and he became a brewery at Pipeworks first as volunteer, and then we hired him officially. The whole while knowing that he was working to open this brewery in Indiana. One of the great things about this industry, and I think something that drew both me and Garrett into it, was the camaraderie that goes into the brewing industry. And so over the last year, we've been helping Drew to open his own brewery in Indiana, and now it's
Miller Beach, just east of Gary.
yeah. So now it's going down, man. It's happening.
So, yeah, that's really exciting. And he's been brewing a couple batches of beer that people have. I think we have a little bit of the Deal with the Devil still left,
Oh, that
which is
sounds
an 18th.
good.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good
good
beer.
stuff.
That was brewed with you guys, but
Yeah, that was
future
brewed-
batches will be brewed down in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we'll probably stop seeing it as much in Chicago.
Well, what I
Right.
think we're kind of talking
Still
about
do a
doing
couple
is,
in Pipeworks.
just to keep, because 18th Street's going to be in Indiana, and you're not going to be able to distribute it in Illinois. And us being Pipeworks, we want to distribute beer put it on Drew's pub because he's going to have a
Right,
tap
so
room.
we'll brew our
So we'll
beer
probably
there.
brew. We'll do like a contract at his place. So
We'll do a
probably-
little
that way,
ninja border crossing.
That way, 18th Street doesn't get cut out of the Illinois market, and that way we can kind of help Drew put some beer
cool.
on at his place. So.
Real quick.
greatest miss.
Is there anyone before we get to that? Is there anyone we can expect to see on future abduction labels?
Nick's going to be on. We're going to do a
Nick's-
coconut something probably.
No, I think Yape is going to be on that though because we got to pull it up.
No, I
for
thought
the,
that was almond.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the almond joy.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Oh, I thought we were doing two different ones.
Well, yeah, because we gotta we're gonna sorry, sidebar here.
Yeah.
No, Yape is gonna be on the biscotti break kind of almond thing.
Yepa is Mikel's brother of.
Evil twin dude.
Ooh, I don't think he would like to be referred that way, but yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I did see that recent thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
we love them both. They're nice.
So other people who are non-Pipeworks affiliated will be on future ones.
Yeah, well, as part of our Kickstarter campaign, anyone that donated $1,000 got the opportunity to be a part of the abduction series. And so what'll happen is there was 4 people at that level, and so each of them will have a variant kind of related with them, and they'll be on the
awesome.
bottle. So we'll see Epe on a bottle.
Cool.
It'll be kind of funny.
All right, yeah, I think
But
somebody.
yeah, everyone at Pipeworks will eventually get on one.
Yeah.
I just want to first apologize for what Chris is about to make you guys
No,
do.
and I want to talk about this too.
I adamantly asked him not to do this.
I want to say this next tasting.
horrible.
This
I
next.
might have to open the door, Michael, back there, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might need
hold-
some air in here.
I'll handle this one. This next tasting is an optional tasting. I will talk a little bit about this beer, and then anyone who wants to try it,
We
feel free
messed
to.
up.
Yeah. So I think my idea about this event was, like I said, to talk about the story of Pipeworks. And the story of Pipeworks has a lot of ups, and there are a few misses as well. And I think anyone who is as prolific as these guys are, you cannot expect to nail everything, especially when you guys are coming, into this having, this is both basically your first production jobs. And I do want to say that the one thing I asked when we put this together was, hey guys, I want to tell the stories of some of the trials and tribulations that you guys have had.
It's good now.
And I think it's really, I credit these guys very much for allowing me to put on a beer that was,
I don't think we allowed it. I think it's just happening.
yeah. But I mean, you could have said no. I mean, you could have said absolutely
I'm
not.
sure I said that.
And anyway, I think these beers are a part of the story of Pipeworks. And I have to say thank you guys so much for having the, for talking about this stuff.
Well, maybe this will help you.
it's no
Let's have a show of hands. Who's had the first batch of Blue Lady in here? I know Chris has.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay.
Cheesy blue.
Yeah.
So
As we dubbed it.
Scott, our third partner, after we recalled this beer, we probably had 20, 30 cases of it sitting in the front.
He was on a
room.
Monday mission.
He would
It was the Monday
take
mission.
1 or 2 bottles home every night of the week and drink them because he didn't mind it.
So yeah, anyway, this is a beer that is, it was an off batch. It was a miss. There was an infection in this beer. It does not taste like these guys intended it to. I think, to their credit, they're allowing us to let you guys taste a beer
you
that
still
is
have this,
infected.
Chris?
I had to find it. This was a hard beer to find.
You found this?
I found these beers, and people donated it, and everybody who donated it was very nice. One thing I will say, one guy offered to trade it to me for a BCS variant.
Oh yeah, that's a good trade.
Thanks, dude. But anyway.
Seller's market.
Yeah, but
Everyone want to try it?
yeah. So
try it.
show
I
of
wanna try it. I haven't
hands.
had
If
this
you
in
want it,
years.
put your hand up. It'll be a small pour, and feel free.
No, I don't. Not at all. Not even remotely. That's great. Thank you.
Okay, so tell me the story behind this beer. I want to know what you guys wanted, and tell me you guys.
I mean, I know exactly what happened.
Take me
We
into
know
the
it's awesome.
well, more than what happened. Take me into the war room of when you realized what was happening with this beer, and what you guys
Well,
did.
it was when we thought we were going to get perfect ratings on Right Beer, and they started coming in real low that we realized we screwed up.
Well, it didn't go into the bottle like this either.
No, it did not go in the bottle. We would not have released this beer had it tasted this way, nor would we have been.
Well, what's wrong with the beer? What's wrong with the beer?
It has a infection of butyric acid,
Which is like a.
That sounds way worse than it is. This is a normal chemical. It's I forgot the actual the.
People call it baby sick sometimes.
Yeah.
Vomit.
So Enterobacter. It's just a normal bacteria.
It's an aerobic bacteria.
So
which-
first off, this was on the base of a Berliner Weiss. This was our first Berliner Weiss. Yeah, this was the first batch.
First one.
So we had gotten good at brewing Berliner Weisses at home, and so we were like, this is a style that we really wanted to bring to the public. Berliner Weiss is like a style that's not gotten the popularity I think it deserves, especially being a sour ale with the sour ale craze. And it's a light, easy, refreshing beer, which this is not. So the technique that we used to make this beer was a sour mash, similar to what you'd find in whiskey.
Which no one does.
No one does this. Everyone actually puts, no, I mean, this is to our credit. We were trying to do this au naturel, doing this old school way. So what that means is we bring the mash up and then we infect the mash itself and let that mash sit for
But
5 days.
it's just natural infection. You just take some
Natural
just
infection.
raw grain and there's lactobacillus on the grain.
We're letting wild yeast, wild bacteria do all the work. We're not taking a lab culture in adding it, which most breweries do.
We leave it over the weekend, hopefully around 110 degrees. But this is the first time we did this on a 65, gallon scale that's got.
This is still when we had the old Psycho
that
brew.
has about 150 pounds of grain in it for each one. And
so
over the weekend,
it floated. The grain floated. So like one of the important things to do when you're doing a sour mash, like
weigh it down.
So one of the important things, like when you're dealing with these, like especially lactobacillus, which is the bacteria that we're trying to promote, is that it's anaerobic. We don't want oxygen. So we had everything covered up. Everything was sealed. Everything was saran wrapped on the surface of the grain. We mashed as if we were mashing any other beer. Like we did a big mash. Unfortunately, over the weekend, that mash had floated on top of the actual wort. And so, like, some of the mash was exposed on the side. Once you introduce aerobic activity or oxygen, you start getting that enterobacter, which is kind of sewagey. It's not harmful.
And the other funny part is we actually, when we did the collaboration with Half Acre called Big Animal Small Machine in 2011, I think it was June. There was a three-way collaboration with Urban of the Struce, who was flying in. And Gabriel and Matt and all the great people at Half Acre wanted to do the collaboration with us. And so BJ and Urban, I don't know, it might have been mostly you, want to do the sour mash. So what did we sour mash like 800 pounds?
Yeah, we started
it was a whole.
Yeah, we did a whole
like 1,000
container.
pounds, man.
Yeah.
So similar experience, but at that time we were smart enough to scrape off the aerobic part on the top.
So yeah, we screwed up a little bit. So the thing is,
So you screwed up, but what did you learn from it? What did you do when you realized you had screwed up?
we we made it so that it wouldn't float up.
Well, I mean, literally, you've realized Blue Lady is out there.
Right.
It's a screw up. What were you guys take us into you guys looking on these rate beer or however you found out?
So like the funny thing is, so we're bottling the beer that day, and the beer still tastes great. Like I mean, like it was the introduction of the oxygen during the bottling
it's something
process
that gets worse as we
like,
introduce more.
like knocked it up. And so like we're like bottling the beer, we're drinking glasses of it, we're like, oh my god, it's so amazing, it tastes so goddamn good, we're gonna kill it. And
Yeah, right.
Like,
We're very excited about it.
Pipeworks, we're so excited. And then like 2 days later, like the ratings start rolling in. They're like, "Oh, it's like feet. It's like this," and they're like, "We're like, what?" And so like we start opening bottles. We're like, "That one was okay," and then we open another bottle. We're like, "Oh, that tastes like blue cheese," and we start. I mean, it was like. That was like one of those like trough moments of Pipeworks where it was like freaking the fuck out. It was just like, oh god, everything's going wrong, and it was horrible. I mean, it was like you don't want to release a product like that. I was like, I don't want to drink this. This is horrible.
Well, it's also very early, and this was maybe
Yeah, I mean,
July
like,
or
we were
August
ballsy to try to do this.
We'd
Yeah.
only been brewing for a few months. We'd only released maybe 31. We released 30 batches before that. So.
Right.
So beyond the technicalities of brewing a Berliner, what did you learn from having a beer that went out there and people didn't like? Not only didn't like,
Learned how to do a recall.
dislike. Yeah. So you recalled? No, I mean, but
Yeah, we
that's part of
recalled
it.
it.
You recalled the beer.
Yeah, and
We recalled
your
as much as we
geniosity.
could from stores that anyone had bought a bottle. We legally can't refund you your money or give you refunded beer, but we can compensate you in some way. So we did the Berliner glasses. So we went out and find some cool bowl glasses, which is the traditional vessel to serve a Berliner Weiss in.
And that's the person who gave me one of the bottles said, you know what? I just wanted to let you know, Chris, that Pipeworks made good on this. They gave me a glass, and I kind of salute them. So to me, it was kind of a lesson in a failure is a great opportunity to earn a lifelong customer.
And it was very welcoming that people were really cool about it. And we were able to get like 30% of the bottles back, thankfully. And then most other people were cool, and so not too many people came out. There was one time that I was at home and I got an email and it was like, I wish you guys were dead.
Yeah, that was an intense email. This guy was really.
There was a guy in
intense.
Pennsylvania. He was very angry. He's like, I got a wife and kids.
we actually got him good,
I
though.
spent money on your beer and shipped it out here, and you guys should just go kill yourselves. And it was like, I was like,
Over beer.
over beer. And I was
Over
like-
beer.
I was like, listen,
Over beer
man.
that I intentionally wanted
We
you
did
to
have a
hate.
guy
I know
too
how-
that like hoarded 12 bottles of that cheesy blue. He's like, yeah, Pipeworks coming out, blueberry for
And he
litter.
hoarded 12 bottles and posted a picture of it online. This is before he knew it was bad. So people hated him.
Yeah, they were like, oh my god, he got all the beer.
And then when they start finding out it's bad, they're like, haha, joke's on you.
Yeah,
So-
right. But I mean, like that guy like got to come to Pipeworks. Like we invited him over. We gave him like a case of good beer, and like we took
no,
care
we
of him.
didn't legally give him a
No, we didn't give him anything.
He stole.
We did nothing of the sort. These are not the droids you're looking for.
All right, so this is a mandatory per Garrett. I promised Garrett I would do this. A mandatory water break, cleaning the glass. I think it's very much fair before we debut Pipeworks beer that we clear out a glass. It's so you guys were nice enough to do that. So give your guys a rinse and use your buckets. I'll give you a couple minutes.
You're just gonna have